Hey everyone, welcome to the Fighters Corner podcast. This is episode 5. Tonight with me I have AlexLovehall, I have Chileanstorm, Damon Drops Green, I also have Mike and the Boys, Onion Knight, Saran Diaz, and Zidane. I have 3 special guests, which are Ash the Man, Ed Pachi, and Call Me Julian. Before we get started, because this is going to be somewhat of a serious episode, there's going to be a disclaimer. A lot of the things that we're going to say it's a very serious topic. We're talking about like sexual harassment, pedophilia, all that stuff that's been going on in the fighting game community. It's been a real shitstorm in the last few days when this went down. And before I get started, I want to give a special shout out to a PlayStation friend of mine, Hot Pink. He passed away several weeks ago. He was really good friends with Zidane and Mike and the Boys, and I met him through those guys, and we played KOF together. We were playing Dragon Ball together and stuff like that. So he will be missed. And he lost his life with asthma. He had an asthma attack. Yeah. So he didn't survive, even though he took the medication and everything. So rest in peace, buddy. And also a shout out to Knuckle Dew. We heard that he got into a really major car accident, and we had an update, I think a few days ago, saying that he will be making a slow recovery, but he's okay now, thank God, because Knuckle Dew is one of the good boys in the community, and it would be a shame if we lost him. So, guys, where do we start with this? With all the allegations with the Smash community and things with what Mr. Wizard was doing, where do we start? Because
why don't we start with Evo?
Yeah, we will start with that one.
Yeah,
man.
So, for those who don't know, Mr. Wizard was accused of pedophilia in the last 20 years, and someone on Twitter made a tweet longer about his experience with Mr. Wizard, doing all these things, giving out tokens to young boys, jumping in the pool in their underwear, and all this stupid shit that he's been doing, asking for dick pics and whatnot. He admitted to all of this, which was very surprising. And then on top of that too, Evo just got rid of him, and everyone players, companies, everything, they don't want to be associated with Evo at this time, and now Evo 2020 is canceled. So guys, what are your thoughts on this right now?
Well, for one, I feel like it's a step in the right direction to get rid of him right now. But I feel like they're getting rid of him because the social climate, which is, somebody's being exposed for this bad thing, so we have to distance ourselves and cancel them, right? Which it's not bad, but I have a feeling that a lot of people were aware of this already and have been aware of this for a while. So if it's such a big deal now, why didn't you get rid of him before and then explain yourself?
Evo was real quick to release that statement, almost like they had a draft written, right? It came out fast.
Right, they had the mix-up already ready, okay, hold on, he got hit.
Save ourselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if this was really genuine. It's everybody's oh, we're gonna get rid of him, and Tony's oh, I'm not gonna be part of Evo. I'm why you get rid of why are you separating yourself? What's the point?
And in that story, in that twit longer, it wasn't even an open secret. This whole group of people were giving away tokens to these kids for jumping into pools in their underwear and shit. You're telling me that none of those old guys who were part of that group knew about that behavior?
They knew.
So they liked it or they were okay with it. Because think about it, if I know y'all are doing something bad and I don't say anything, then that means I'm just as guilty. Like, to bring up another sensitive topic, in the George Floyd video, the 3 cops who were standing right there, not doing anything, just watching, even though they weren't actively doing anything bad, them being neutral in that situation meant they were okay with it because they weren't doing anything about it.
They're just
they're complicit, right?
Guilty by association, pretty much.
Yeah.
And to make another like reference to that, it's like the R. Kelly thing. Like everybody in the business knew what he was doing. Nobody really said anything.
Well, and a lot about it has to do with power, because the Joe was in a position where he was the face of the single biggest tournament in the FGC calendar globally. You know, you look back at some stuff like, Weinstein, and you're like, well, everybody knew about Harvey, and why didn't anyone do about it? Because this guy could make or break someone's career. And I'm not saying that, that Wiz had the same kind of power, but he was in a position where people thought that they needed to respect him regardless of his actions. And I think that kind of says a lot to how dominant Evil was over the FGC in terms of, being the biggest tournament,
Well, they had two in one. Sorry to interrupt there, but he had 2 in 1 year. Like, he had Evo Japan, that was starting to get really big, and then like the main Evo, right? So like,
so big that one tournament wasn't enough,
Pretty much.
Yeah, with a lot of these guys, you could speak out about it, but then you might never get fucking placed in a bracket ever again, right? If you're a pro player, that's your livelihood, right?
Oh, exactly. Now, like, you speak up about it, and you're in the death bracket for every tournament you ever go to,
right?
Forever,
because you don't have any power in that situation. You're going against the status quo and the culture. Because I was kind of saying, go ahead.
I'm just saying that, like, and then your sponsors are wondering why you're not performing. And you can't just go ahead and blame, oh, well, the TO's got it out for me. Well, your sponsors aren't going to take that kind of crap.
I mean, you low-key good if you like, hey, look, I know he's doing some real bad things and they're blackballing me. Now, once you say that and they, either they blackball you for saying something, which means that means they knew about it and they're protecting them, which means this problem goes into the actual corporations now, which that's another issue.
But if you're a sponsor, maybe it's better to just sponsor someone who doesn't have all the drama associated with them. That's where people's mindset is.
So that's where speaking out, why people say, oh, why didn't you speak out? You just explained the reason why people don't speak out, because they're worried about their bottom line and their bottom dollar over somebody else's, which is understandable. I get it. But then people can't sit here and say, oh, I wouldn't have said this, or oh, you should have said that. Well,
yeah, like it's hard to kind of, hindsight is 20/20, right? Like, everyone has their own reasons for speaking out or not speaking out, and it's not clean cut, right? Unfortunately.
Right. Even more so, I think the situation of how everyone has paid some type of attention, but say we didn't pay all attention or all like forms of attention towards what he's doing. You gotta acknowledge that Joey was a guy who ran an arcade, right, at one point, even before running Evo. So this guy knows the FGC. He knows all the people who, when they were boys, 16, 17, by whoever they were, right? He didn't pay too much attention to the fact that these guys are going to pay attention and be like, yeah, I guess it's whatever, right? Even if they knew, they were like, well, what's the benefits? We get tokens. We don't have much to say. It's not affecting us currently. Should we really kill her, right? It was brought up that Viscant knew, and that's really sad because I love that fucking debate that he had with LTD, but it's inexcusable. No one should know what's going on and sweep it under the rug. If you just sweep it under the rug that big, especially if you just was like, oh yeah, it can't be that bad. Well, if it could be that bad, it's more than enough for it to be a problem. And anytime you see something, you're like, oh yeah, it's just a small little detail. That detail grows into a crack. That crack goes into a hole, and then everyone's just trying to cover it up, and that just doesn't work.
Well, what I will say is, like as he was saying earlier, it does not excuse somebody not saying anything, but I understand why one person wouldn't say anything. But in this culture that we have, which is a benefit, people have the courage and the bravery to want to speak up and want to stop it. Right? Back then, none of that. Because remember, they had the power. They had really all this comes down to I have power over you, I have control, and I have clout. Right? Because you notice they're not doing this with anybody who they can have real deal consequences against. They're not doing this against an adult. You're not doing this against anybody who's highly attractive, because then they would look at you like you're fucking weird. And C, you're not doing this in a public light or where you could actually get it tracked down to you. You're doing this who are vulnerable.
It's just easy victims. That's all it was.
Yeah.
It's easy victims.
It's predator and prey, right? They are literally preying on people who are in vulnerable positions.
Right, unfortunately.
Well, let me say something about that. So I don't even know if a lot of you guys were even on SRK back. Probably not. But anytime that somebody would get exposed for doing something, for instance, when Triforce got exposed for sending dick pics to that chick, and she took it and put it on this link, and it was just all over the place and everything. Nobody really took that shit serious. Not at all. And that shit was just fucking crazy. It was just like, yeah, this dude's a creepo. This is what he do. Nobody, this motherfucker didn't get in trouble for it. But here's the problem with SRK. We all know that Mr. Wizard ran that shit. So, for instance, like when Ducto, fucking Watson, I just find it funny that Watson is, now saying something, like he said it, I don't know if it was 2015 or 2014. He said it before, but here's my problem. You don't say shit about somebody like dirt when you motherfuckers are fucking enemies now. And that's the problem with a lot of these motherfuckers. They're doing it because they're enemies now. So now they want to put them on blast.
True.
It's almost like blackmailing sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I know what you did, and now like we're not talking anymore. And
I don't even say it's. Sorry, go ahead.
Like for real. So back to what I was gonna say. Watson, Ducto, and Mr. Wizard scammed mad people on SRK. Mad people. I had the link, and I sent the link in one of our chats that we're in. But these guys have always been known scumbags. All right? And this is the one thing about the FGC that a lot of people, my whole issue I have with the FGC is this, the new FGC. You motherfuckers are trying to make this a family-oriented fucking type thing when it was never, and I mean never, such a thing. It's a cutthroat environment, right? It's just motherfuckers trying to climb on the next motherfucker to get to the fucking top. And they will do any means necessary to do that. You're seeing it right now. Now all of a sudden everybody's coming out saying this about this person, that person, this person, that person. And here you thought they were friends and everything. This shit has been going on forever. And it's real sad that, it's just blowing up like this. But then again, back then nobody really, the internet wasn't really that big back then. Didn't really have Twitter and shit like that. So
And,
I can see why it's being.
And then like,
I have a
like,
couple of questions then for you.
Who would like people who would come out like 20 years ago with this? Like let's just say, for an example, like the kids that Mr. Wizard was messing with came out like the day after it happened. Like, who would really believe them? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that. Like that's
you know what? You're right about
that's
that.
the
'cause
sad
nobody
part.
would believe them.
Exactly.
But,
That's the sad part.
but here's the thing, though. If they would have went to their parents and said this shit, it'd have been a little bit different.
But they'll be too scared to go to their parents
I'm about
because
to say,
I don't really think that, like, in some cases, yeah, but
I think with that kind of thing, too, though, like a lot of kids don't know that they're being abused, right? Like it
That's
takes
also
years
true.
for that shit to set in,
True.
and then you look back on it and you go, "Holy shit, that was fucked up." But you don't know it at the time. You're like, "Oh, I guess he wants me to whip my dick out. Like he's the adult in the room. I guess I should fucking listen to that asshole." I don't know.
I mean, but back to what you were saying about they're trying to change the scenery or the society. It's always been cutthroat and people being real grimy. So, with that statement being said, the environment of it being cutthroat and raw, it leads to situations like this. Because since the environment's all cutthroat and raw, people are doing whatever they want to do. And now, when they get the power and they start acting on these vices or bad behaviors, which if it was a normal esports environment would never happen, but since it's raw, underground, and small, but I'm about to act like a king. So my question to you is, would you prefer the cutthroat 90s FGC, which is where a lot of these bad behaviors and foundations are built on, or would you like to see a esports FGC, which is a little bit more toned down, a little bit more accessible, and a little bit more generalized, but can open up to new opportunities and advancements that the community never had the option to have before?
But Alex, you know what's funny about that? When FGC was slowly going down that esports route, a lot of the old heads were complaining and saying that, oh, this shit's grassroots, like, why are you trying to do this and why are you trying to do that? So there's always like that, there's like this 50-50 type of thing where like everybody in the FGC wants to be esports, but then you got like some of the minority who is like the old heads would say, no, let's not go this route because then we can't do what we want. You know what I'm saying?
I get that, because at the end of the day, like I'm
a younger
kid.
Not necessarily. Like, I don't want to do whatever I want. Obviously,
no, I know
like,
you. Yeah, I know you are not like that.
I mean,
but bro, from what I've seen, Kane, like from what I've seen before on my feed, like several years ago, I've seen
a lot of people
guys,
are definitely in that.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
guys
fuck that,
in
we
that
need to do the
mindset
dirty
where it's
shit.
like, yeah, there's like, no, we need the shit talk, we need the money matches and all that other stuff.
Because what I realized is that the FGC is a very empowering place for people who had no power, right? If you're a nerd, you like fighting games, 9 times out of 10, you're an outcast, you're a nobody, you don't have a lot of social skills, and you don't have a lot of friends, which means that the little community that you do have, and you're not also very confrontational, so you use the competitive aspect of fighting games to boost your aggressiveness, self-esteem, whatever, and then you use that in the community. And in this community, it's a lot of shit talk and a lot of fuck yous, a lot of money matches, whatever. So when you have that, and that's the only thing you have. Once somebody's trying to take it away, it's like somebody's taking away your privilege. Which, as you've probably already seen, when somebody tries to take away your privilege, it doesn't go over very well. Mm-hmm. So I'm half and half. I don't mind the FGC being, raw and underground. But if you're going to do that, you have to realize that you don't get the benefits of esports. There's pros and cons to both lifestyles.
Exactly.
Ooh, somebody's echoing.
I'm also half and half.
Whose
Is it my mic?
speaker's open?
Calibers.
I'm all set with esports, man.
Caliber, get a headset.
Here's the reason why I'm all set.
It's on. All right, let me
I
see.
have to mute him right quick. When he figures it out, I'll be back.
Yeah.
All right, I'm all set with esports because you can't take something that's so underground and try to make it like a fucking family-oriented type fucking thing. It's
Why
not
not?
gonna work. It's just not gonna work.
You can make fighting games esports. You just can't have the same old mentality. Because, like, I grew up in the arcades, and fucking the arcades made me tough, and I appreciated that. Like, that culture was fucking fantastic at the time. Mm-hmm. But you can't translate arcade culture to online because there's no repercussions for your shit talking in virtual space. And I think that's the problem of trying to bring that old arcade mentality to e-tournaments and to online feuds. It's all a bunch of fucking keyboard warriors, right? And I think the world has to change if we want to go big money, big esports, big, prime time.
I'm gonna be honest. The reason the FGC is still raw and underground because it's made up of a bunch of old niggas who was only around in the 80s and 90s. And since the FGC is small, there's not a lot of new blood coming in, so there's not a lot of growth. So everybody's pretty much the same person, right?
Perhaps.
The fact that Mr. Wizard is big. Okay, Caliber, real quick. I'm about to hit you with that mute button.
Oh crap!
The fact that Mr. Wizard has been big then and is bigger now, and nobody else has come through to like try to shake it up, that's bad. Right.
Well, I think Julian had a very good point that there's this real dichotomy when it comes to esports, where people want the old school feel of the FGC, but the money and the sponsorships and everything that esports entails, the more global recognition, the more notoriety, all that kind of stuff. These are all things that people want, but you can't have that while at the same time trying to hold on to the past. And I'm not saying that people should just embrace esports and fuck the past, because you still need some of that, but it's like there's a big difference between like not wanting money matches and all that hype shit. Like that's what kind of gets people's blood boiling and just it builds passion and excitement. And you can still have that with esports, but you can't be as brash, as confrontational, as intense as you were in the past. And I'm not saying that we should have one or the other, but I think a little bit of both is warranted. But saying you want full esports and you also want it how it was in the past, well,
you can't.
I don't think that you can have that.
I think we had a point where we was pretty close to that idea. This is the idea that I think most people would be very familiar with when I describe it. Looking at the Ocean Street Fighter 4 scene, where there was a lot of money matches, a lot of community gatherings, and every other fucking day someone fucking lost $100, if not more, because they wanted to talk shit online, and then they had to go to the same fucking East Coast Throwdown event or North Cal SoCal event, whatever big major or local scene. Even if it's Wednesday night fights, someone's always talking shit, and then eventually you have to play them either in the tournament or at a side bet, right? And this was the thing that everyone had on for display. I was watching a video about one of the best fucking incidents to ever happen in the Smash community. Chilling dude getting his ass whooped 5-0 by Leffen.
Yeah,
and I remember that.
Hilarious at that, right?
That was mad hilarious.
Made a rap and everything just to get bopped. I know you're upset.
This is some of the things that we need in our community. We need the aggression, we need the hatred, but we don't need the micromanaging from esports is what we really need as far as the tournaments and TOs go.
But if you have that, you don't have that aggression and you don't have that money matches, because that's A, illegal, B, it leads to a whole bunch of drama and situations you don't want, and C, it doesn't mesh with the image of what esports is trying to represent. Because if you notice in that era of 2015, we were starting to bubble up, but Capcom was running everything. There wasn't a lot of fighting game diversity, and there wasn't a lot of options out there, and games were still not as accessible. Today's age, you have Dragon Ball FighterZ, Grand Blue, Street Fighter V, Tekken 7, Under Night. I could throw any game in the hat. They either A, have a pro circuit that's run by the company that they're made by, they have money behind them, they have community presence, they have accessibility, they have higher player bases than ever before because Capcom's not the king of it all. So esports, this is the direction that esports is going, which, long story short, us as a community needs to figure out what do you want to do, and whatever decision you make, you have to be okay with that.
We can have the bravado and shit of the arcade era, but only if we figure out how to do it in a professional way, like how boxing and MMA did it. Fucking everybody knows Floyd Mayweather's name, right? Everyone knows Conor McGregor because those guys knew how to distill shit talking
in a professional setting.
Put that into a professional setting where everybody's making money.
All right,
but for Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, right? Funny enough, that trash talking is already embedded in that system. they didn't do anything special. They just were the best ones at making their brand associated with that. Because other fighters did that too. And then other fighters, like let's say Mike Tyson, he didn't shit talk a lot because when he did, it was raw. Like I'm gonna fuck you till I make you love me. You see what I'm saying? Like that's kind of intense. But that shit talking, that's just his version of it because he was raw, unedited, and literally insane. But the thing that got his brand was his ability to knock out somebody quickly.
If I may, I did want to bring up something here that I think it's kind of like, because I was thinking about this, I was listening. There was a very organic story going on, and it was a very kind of polite story, but an interesting one for sure, of Tokido versus Daigo. That story right there. It's a very interesting one of Tokido kind of always falling behind Daigo and even winning other tournaments, but his big goal being, to surpass and finally beat Daigo. That's a narrative right there, and I don't think there was any shit thrown there,
There was no shit.
You gotta look at it like this.
But their culture is also different over there, so they was handling things different.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Like you remember when K-Brad and what was his name? Damn, Wolfchrome.
Oh,
none of that.
Wolfchrome.
None of that.
I love that.
You can't have that in esports all the time because that's not stable, that's not controllable, and that's just raw aggression from we taking it back to the hood days. Okay, that's cool and all when you want to be, in the hood, so to speak, but when you want to piece of the white folks, that shit don't really work.
I have to interject.
And this is why I don't give a shit about esports.
I have to interject that real quick because I still remember the Wolfchrome and K-Brad beef and the fact that Wolfchrome beat K-Brad on a professional setting, mind you, and he was acting out like an idiot. Like K-Brad, in my opinion, K-Brad won that whole beef because when they did the interview at the end and they interviewed K-Brad did not act out. K-Brad took the L. He admitted he lost. He even said that Wolfchrome got better, like his game got better, and K-Brad said he couldn't adapt, right? So he was actually congratulating him. And then the mic goes over to Wolfchrome, and Wolfchrome's like, yeah, fuck you, K-Brad. I'm like, are you fucking retarded?
but listen though. That's what I'm saying. There's two sides to one story. K-Brad felt like that, but he was taking the professional esports route because he was sponsored, bigger name, more to lose. Wolfchrome was trying to get somewhere, so he was using, let's say, his attitude as a way to get names on him to pressure K-Brad into a situation where he would have to either act out worse or play better or submit and lose. You know what I'm saying?
That I understand. But what I'm trying to say is that when Wolfchrome beat him on a professional setting, because this was on E-League, I think it was.
Yeah, he started cussing, and then everybody's like, "Yo, what's going on?"
Exactly. So what I'm trying to say is that on that professional esports setting, K-Brad was still mature about the whole thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, Wolfchrome shouldn't have acted out the way he did. Yeah, he got the victory on him. Yeah, it felt nice to beat him, get the revenge pretty much. Because before that, I saw that was the grassroots K-Brad. K-Brad was in his face. He was insulting him, and he beat him, and he embarrassed him, right? But in the professional setting, I felt that Wolfchrome embarrassed himself because that in my personal.
I wouldn't say embarrassed himself because
he made himself. He definitely made himself look stupid.
But K-Brad even said, "Hey, I'm congratulating you. Are you stupid or something?"
I mean,
you know what? If I was in his shoes, I would have definitely did this. I would have been like, I wouldn't have swore. I would have been like, now you got to catch up to me. I would have said something more kind of professional, and not yeah, motherfucker, ha ha, yeah. Oh, nah, I wouldn't have did that because
you
you're
would
on
have put
TV.
the same thing in different languages.
Yeah.
So,
You also got to remember that over this whole thing that between Wolfcrone and K-Brad was that Wolfcrone was an actual idiot because not only did he sign a actual physical contract of him saying that you're like, you know how FGC players are, you know, in, like when you're on national TV, you can't swear. E-League was on TBS at the time, so he also got fined 10 grand for that. You can't necessarily do that. Yes, he acted out of line. Yes, he sat there and swore, but over something as like more perpetual as a beef in fighting games.
but listen though, even though
I'm
he
not
did
trying
that,
to.
I'm
not
not
trying to defend
defending
him.
him.
I'm just saying.
I was gonna say he made the right move because think about it. You're talking about it right now, aren't you? It made for an interesting story, did it not? And it built the story that you guys that we're all referring to now. How many more esports matches have there been that nobody's talking about? Does anybody remember what other matches happened that day?
The meta RD Dogra one. That one was actually messed up too because Dogra sat there and forced him into the RQ and he wasn't supposed to RQ.
Well, personally, about the whole Wolfcrone K-Brad thing, I think that there was nothing wrong with that beef at all. Like, it started off very organically. Like you're saying, you saw K-Brad pop off when he beat Wolfcrone tournament and stuff. But I think that this is the issue was the fact that E-League made a big deal out of it. And this is where I think where a lot of people are saying, oh, fuck esports. It's because, E-League had that security guard in the background looking all like he's going to break up a fight or whatever. And then they had the post-match interview and stuff. And the problem was that these people who had this raw, organic feud were have a camera shoved in their face and a mic shoved in their mouth. Like, in what, like, Julian was talking about MMA, do they do post-interview fights with, post-fight interviews with the two people after they lose?
It depends. It depends
it's usually
on the
one
fight.
or the other.
It depends on the card. It depends on the situation.
It depends on the card, the fight, and depends
like when
on...
they did, what's his name?
And it depends on the contract, too, because sometimes some contracts, when they get signed up, they don't have to sit there and stay for the fight. They can actually just leave and go directly back to where they're at.
If they're a big name...
Definitely interviewed Pacquiao because he was fronting so much ahead of that fight, right? And they wanted to get his, and like it's Manny Pacquiao. He's a known quantity. They basically interview people if they think they can get a good soundbite out of you, regardless of whether you won or lost.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing is that they don't have Pacquiao and his opponent sitting there asking questions back and forth like the way they're doing E-League. I felt that E-League kind of set them up for failure, and they knew that they were going to say some stupid shit. And they kind of just laid the carpet out and let them, trip over their own feet kind of thing.
E-League is a great example.
I got one question to ask you. Where the fuck is E-League now?
It's just still going. It's just in different spots, and it's more branched out now. Like they have the shit on TBS. They have the thing on, I don't know if it's on Spike, but they don't have an E-League. Well, actually, they do have an E-League. To be honest with you, I don't know all the particulars, but I know that the esports mentality has bled itself into all the major tournament circuits, no matter if it's on national TV, if it's a pro circuit, if it's a major, it's all there because they're all going towards the same goal now.
Like, E-League is still around. They do a lot of stuff in the League of Legends, the MOBAs, and Counter-Strike community. Like, they are a real big deal there. But they've kind of just they tried to grab on to the FGC.
Talking about for fighting games?
Yeah.
Oh, because fighting games. Oh, because fighting games suck. They're not marketable. Nobody plays them. That's why they're not here. I'm gonna just be honest.
Yeah, they gave up on it.
Exactly, and that's what I was really trying to get at right there. You see what I'm saying? Like, here's the problem with esports for fighting. It's not gonna go no higher than what it is.
That's not true.
You can sit here and argue all you want. Just watch. Over the years, watch how it's just not gonna go higher where these other games are. like Counter-Strike, fucking Hearthstone, and all these other fucking games.
Right
They'll
now
never
it's not,
get to that level.
but there's ways it can grow to that point.
Do you watch Street Fighter League that Capcom is doing the 3v3 stuff?
Man,
that format I think could be big. Like, because people like teams. People like to rally behind a team that they love, not necessarily one person.
Honestly, the way that
that is a very, very good point.
Because the way the fighting game. Oh, go ahead.
I'd say that, like, if you look at all the other successful E-League franchises, whether they're MOBAs, whether they're Counter-Strike, every single one of them is team-based. And a lot of people in the FGC say, well, I don't like that because I don't want to have to rely on someone else. I want to rely on my own skill against this guy's skill and hash it out like that. And if I'm not good enough, well, that's on me to get better. But the thing is, as far as viewers are concerned, they enjoy, like Julian said, rallying behind a team. And that's the one constant amongst all of the elite stuff.
Well, for one thing, fighting games are a single-player based competitive aspect. Counter-Strike, that's a team-based game. So, of course, people who watch that are going to want to watch a team-based sport. Like people who watch boxing, they're not expecting 3 boxers to get into the ring and fight on a team because it's not the sport they signed up for. Same as fighting games. The general public, you're trying to market a small game to a big market, and you have nothing that the other market can latch onto. Like, people don't like Marvel movies because they're a comic book. People like Marvel movies because they're an interesting story that's presented to them.
I like comics.
Right. I like comics too. But listen though, do you see people picking up an Avengers comic after Endgame?
Unfortunately not.
It's a franchise.
Because people like the movie, not the comic.
I will say this, like, as far as Marvel and DC go, if they're comic book properties, they don't really do a good job at pushing the comic books. Like, they could care less,
They could, but listen, just
like, because most of them are doing that social justice BS and they're fucking up the stories.
That's true, but they do the social justice because that's the thing that's getting people to pay attention. Like, if you made a Black Lives Matter character right now, even if that character does nothing and is a terrible character for a comic book, it's getting Twitter's attention, whether good or bad.
It will be 100%. It will.
But nobody's going back to read Daredevil stories from the 80s. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not interesting.
What did you just say?
I was going to say that's one of the best stories.
I said that no one's going back to read the Daredevil from the 80s. I read the shit from Frank.
Yeah,
Born
Again.
I like it.
Yeah, Born Again.
The era or time, you're not going to want to relive it. It's hard to put yourself in a position where you're in an out-of-body experience for something that was not of your timeline, your interest, or the time in which it was the highest peak was not something that you took part of. I will never get into Harry Potter, no matter how many more fucking shit gets released for any of those books, or they do rehashes or shit, because when Harry Potter was popular, I didn't give 2 shits about it. So I still don't give 2 shits about it.
This might be a bit off topic, but it's just like my world is like comic books right now. Like, I play fighting games extremely casual. But regardless, I have been noticing during COVID, there has been a resurgence on comic books, specifically 90s and 80s. And I think
that's right. This is why I'm laughing now, because I know none of you guys work at a comic book store. I work at a comic book store, and and though right now my boss is getting he's making buku money because he's down in his basement. He's on Instagram. He's showing all the books that he's bought that are 80s and 90s and key books, and them shits are flying off the fucking
Now listen, hold on.
Flying off the rails.
Now I go to comic book stores too. 1, he's doing this shit in COVID, not a normal situation. B, is he appealing to an outside market or just people who are already knowing who he is in the comic books?
Both. The thing is, even before COVID though, the thing is, you guys got to understand, if you collect comic books, you just don't collect, you collect keys. Key books, meaning like the first appearance of, let's say, Dr. Doom, the first appearance. Those are the books right there that are always going from the Golden Age up to the 80s.
Really depends on the character.
Those are the books. Those are the books are like those are the books that people are looking for. Key
Well,
books. Key books
Ultimate
where people first appearance.
Ultimate Fallout 4 is really getting high up there because of Miles. So there's that.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
To be honest with you, the
He's the only character though.
key
too,
issues are in question, or they are popular, yes, but they're key issues. Spawn #1, just start a random character. That's the first issue of Spawn. Key issue. Was anybody looking for issue number 5?
Issue number 9, actually, Angela's first appearance, and also
another key
and
issue.
also, you know why? You want to know why nobody is looking for Spawn #1? You know how many prints of Spawn #1 is out there?
I know about the
he
90s
printed-
comic book boom. I know.
actually it's
Alright.
it's getting up there though in price.
It is. It's finally getting up there.
Because
But there's so many of them out there, though.
that's why
Yeah.
Spider-Man #1 is so whatever, and X-Men #1 is so whatever. Even though they're high marketed books, there's so many prints and there's so many variant covers, and the fact that the people who are selling and buying them are people who are looking for them. You see what I'm saying? Nobody off the street is buying a comic book to sell back unless they're going for a pure return on investment. It means they don't care about the book in question; they care about the number attached to the resale value.
Not entirely true. People are interested. There's also like the underground movement of comics itself as well, because they have realized that you can't put your faith in the big two. So they're looking to creators on Kickstarter, on Indiegogo, and stuff like that, and it's pretty cool.
Well, I'm glad that they are starting to expand on that.
Mm-hmm.
This is why artists like Ethan Van Sciver and many other guys are fucking thriving now, because they're just writing their own story. They're staying away from the politics. That's what people like. Come on, man. Let's all be serious. Most of us in here are black. Most of us fucking, deal with the bullshit. How many more times a year to go see this shit in the comic books and video games? I don't want to see the shit every day. I gotta live the shit. I don't want to see it
to
all
be
day
honest
every
with
day.
you, I don't like pandering and throwing a random social justice hashtag in my face. But if you can write a compelling story with that topic in mind, because Black Panther, when he was first created, was basically just a social justice movement back in his day. But since they actually cared about the story in question, you don't think of it like that.
Here's the difference. Social justice back then was really needed. I'm not saying it's not really needed now, but a lot of these motherfuckers have a hidden agenda when they use it now. A lot of these people getting called out.
It's more used for
exposed.
pandering now than it was.
Yeah, pretty
Well,
much.
social
20,
justice
30
used to
years
require
ago.
action. Because you know what? I've never seen anybody who's saved the world by posting on Facebook or Twitter, right? Like, social justice used to be going fucking marches and being there and doing the shit that you
They're
believe in.
starting to do now.
Exactly.
Again, but to be honest, marches is kind of played out in my opinion, because just like a march by itself does nothing, a march mixed in with other things does everything. But now we're getting
Mixed in with what,
extreme.
though?
Well, for one, you have political change, you have economic infrastructure, you have actual people in office in place that actually listen to the things that you want, or that you can pay to start pushing the agendas that you have, because you're the one that put them in office. You have community outreach and management. You also have resources that you can then export as well as import to and from other countries that make your actual country more valuable on the global market. There's a lot that goes into it, personally.
So do you think, sorry to because we were kind of going like a bit off topic, but like going back to like the original topic, you think that there was like a hidden agenda with this whole like evil thing and Smash community thing? Like, you think there was like a hidden agenda all this time, or like?
I feel like if there isn't hidden agenda, it doesn't take away from the fact that the behavior they're doing is fucked up. I'll say that.
Yeah, true.
If they
Because,
didn't
like-
want
I
to
agree.
cancel Smash, you still shouldn't be touching little kids. So you just made it easy for somebody to cancel you.
Because like
Yeah,
because last night, like, I was like in a discussion with TJ and Ash, and I think all this stems from is the North American mentality. And what I mean by that is that once people are famous, especially in the United States, they feel like they're untouchable. Doesn't matter
True.
what they do. It doesn't matter what they do. If they're famous for playing video games, they're famous. They're making money. They're known. So I feel because we live in such a fucked up society to begin with, I think this is where all this shit stems from. Like,
well, here's the thing too. Like, this isn't, the FGC's outings aren't in isolation. Like, I'm a game developer, and literally the past 3 weeks has been women outing creeps in the game development scene. Like, Ubisoft Toronto alone, there were 4 people who got fucking outed, 2 of which I'd already heard rumblings of like a few years ago. But now it's just enough women are having the courage to come forward and say that shit. And so it's got a cascade effect, because before that it was film, comics. It's basically, there's a lot of creeps in positions of power everywhere. And once one person sees that, they're like, oh shit, I can come forward too. And I think it's a snowball
It's a
effect.
chain.
Yeah.
it's a big chain.
It takes that one person to admit.
Did your mic just like? Anyway. But
I wouldn't say that there's an agenda. I think that it's this snowball of confidence where someone says, "Oh, they spoke up about so and so. Well, maybe I should speak up on what happened to me."
Well, like,
No.
okay, I'll use Chris G as an example for what he said 3 years ago, right? Like, this guy flat out like said about like black women, like he made like a whole essay about it, and like there has to be some level of like your ego. Like, you have to believe that, like, oh, no one's going to say shit to me, no one's going to do shit to me, so I could say.
But let's be honest here. The FGC is what we've all said is true. How people knew about it and just protected it and didn't say nothing. They don't say anything, so you kind of get that reinforcement. Like, okay, nobody's saying anything. I'm the man, or I have a high position of power. Then cool. And to be honest, Chris G said that. I'm sure he's not the only one who thought that or thinks that. He just was the one who said it. You see what I'm saying? So
he just said what everyone else was thinking.
Yeah, or he said what other people are just like, that's just his opinion. But at the time when he said 2017, it wasn't the culture it is now. So nobody was really getting on his case about it. Now somebody dug it up, which I have mixed feelings. If you dig something up from somebody for the sole purpose of being offended, I don't agree with that. But if something comes up, then okay, that's different.
Yeah, digging for something to get someone canceled. That's like your girlfriend going through your phone to see if you're cheating.
Now that's bad, but listen though, if you didn't have shit in your phone, you would, you know what I'm saying? She would look really fucking stupid. But if you had something in your phone, does she look as stupid?
That's true.
Yeah, well, I think there is certainly a need for friends of people who are doing these bad things need their friends to out them, not their victims. You know, like it's good that the victims speak out and they have that voice, but it is. I believe it's inherent that people, if they see something bad going on, we have to take a step and say, no, stop that. You know, what you're doing is wrong. We have to check ourselves.
Yeah, man, it helps stop normalization, right? Like a friend of mine, she was assaulted, and she put it perfectly. She's like, look, if every dude just called out a dude for being a piece of shit to a woman, maybe we'd have less of that, right?
Yeah, and especially because like this shitty behavior is perpetuated by the fact that it's like, you know, you do something shitty and nobody calls you out on it, and you don't have any repercussions because all your friends, you know, they saw it, but they kind of just turn a blind eye. Well, now you're like, all right, well, this is acceptable, right? And that's how this stuff all starts. But you have the issue is that there are, you know, bystanders who are looking at this and being like, you know what, that's fucked up, but I'm not going to say anything, and that's kind of the problem. And they're the people that need to step up more so than the victims, like you're saying.
Well, like when you were saying like about people stepping up, I think like for people who want to step up and who feel scared to do it, they don't really have like anybody to turn to. what I'm trying to say is like I was talking to one of my friends. She's like a known cosplayer. Her name is Kitty Kaoom, right? She was supposed to be with us tonight. I asked her if there was like anything she wanted me to say on her behalf, and pretty much she sent me her Facebook post that she made a few days, like when this shit started. I'm gonna read it out. It's kind of long. It's not that long, but what it says, it's warning sensitive subject material. Because I'm in so many groups in different communities, I feel it's only necessary to let everybody know what that this is going on in the FGC. These are the people with the pedophile allegations so far. And she made a list of people, which is Mr. Wiz. Side note, can we all agree that Mr. Wizard is a like 100% pedophile name?
I'm not gonna lie. I personally don't think that.
Ooh. Core values.
Core values. Then we know why the Ely never made it to Evo.
So Mr. Wiz, Senpai, D1, Bunny Ayu, we'll get to her in a minute. Nairo, what is it? Electman, J Tails, Chudat, what is it? Xanax or
The
something?
fact that there's more than like 10 people on this list is a problem.
Yep.
I don't even know who the fuck these motherfuckers are.
Most of these people he's naming, I know and have watched at some point. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Sleepy K, Focus,
Yeah, I don't know them.
Remo,
Yeah, what games they play?
Saxel,
Smash mainly.
yeah, some of these guys are Smash players.
I mean, Smash community has been.
ZTN,
I mean, hold on. The fighting game community is some weirdos too, not just the sexual allegations. Let's not get it twisted.
And the last one,
Yeah.
So
Square people everywhere.
So no Smash players. I'll tell you that.
I mean, but the
continues.
FGC, hey man.
So she continues saying, there are more we sadly are finding out about every day, with some unquestionable thin ice. Take in mind, not every name I know fully, since a lot are in the Smash community, but the first few I do. Remember who they are. If you are a victim from any of them, don't be afraid. We are here to help you. And she puts that in like bold capital letters. What they have done go beyond internet canceling and internet banning from events and conventions. These have huge legal repercussions, which I said in the beginning. And these are crimes against humans that have happened. Actions does need to be taken. I am here to let you know that I can help you if you need it. It will be completely between you and I. If you feel like you can't come forward on your own, you can always message me and I will be happy to help. And I'll post her information at the end credits and on the description of the video. From all my many years of being a professional in different communities, helping run events and supporting said communities, we are here to stand with you and support you through this difficult time. I'm also highly saddened but thankful that everyone is on lockdown right now, because this needed to be said over a decade ago. I'm also very disgusted with the close friends that I've come from the world of cosplay, as much as ones who also run these events in the industry that kept quiet for so long. I will say one thing, some of these people were really good at keeping it secretive, and their friends did not fully know. Ooh. You guys believe that?
Yeah, I can, but I mean,
Yeah,
one it's a case by case basis. Two, I don't know them personally, and C, one, it sounds better, and two, even if they did know and didn't say anything, well, one, that's fucked up. But two, as we said at the beginning, sometimes people don't necessarily know how to come forward and figure that out. You know, not everybody has the strength or the ability to go and say, hey, what you're doing is wrong. and be okay with that.
And sometimes people just don't piece 1 and 2 together to figure what's going on. James Chen said, "Hey, yeah, I saw this going on, but I didn't think anything of it." And although that sounds fishy, maybe he really didn't at the time. Was like, "All right, yeah, okay, whatever. This guy's gonna give him tokens." He didn't really pay attention too much to what the activity was. Maybe people really didn't pay that much attention to these people, and they was like, "Oh yeah, it's just whatever," right? In the case of the scant, I definitely feel like he should be held accountable to an extent, not speaking up because he knew this guy's a closet gay, and that's just not fucking cool. Like,
Viscant has been a very questionable person over the years at the FGC. He's done some really.
The FGC as a whole is just not looking good right now. Because if you start looking down the list of everybody, that's probably the reason why not everybody is speaking out or saying nothing. Because they know that they have secrets in their own closet that they can't even go into. Like, damn. It's real bad. Like, I didn't even know about Scamby and /Bum, but apparently he gave receipts to where that was. I didn't get to that far, but everybody got something.
Well,
at this point,
it continues on saying, but for the ones that did know and decided to get your fun from it as well, you are the ones I'm speaking about. Part of me feels that you are just as guilty as the people in question, and you must be held accountable as well, which I fully agree.
I hear that.
Don't think others in the community are going to see you as a completely innocent from here on out in the future. It absolutely breaks my heart to see so many people that are victims from these people, multiple accounts of these deploring incidents that a lot of young kids who looked up to you, who were happy to have a place, belong, and feel safe. And you're sick as violated that innocence beyond any type of fixing on your own. In my eyes, all of you should be locked up for years, which I fully agree.
And that's why he has a screenshot of her lying. Yo, this shit's just all fucked up. I'm sorry, man. Sorry about that. I was talking to my friend about this shit.
No, it's alright. And this is why I urge all the victims who have come forward online in the past few days, this week, to please go to the authorities. I understand why in the past all of these people decided to be quiet up until now. When I was harassed at a fighting game event in 2017, I spoke out immediately, and I was made fun of. People decided to talk shit and make fun of me for it. They bullied me, but I still fought to try and make things right. I kept quiet and I didn't go public, but I did go to the video game company who was running this event. Not everyone can be brave or strong. A lot of people are afraid to lose their careers. They work so hard on if they did come forward and get canceled from it. But once again, I'm here to tell you on my behalf, I will do nothing but support you. And there are many other esport teams, coordinators, TOs, and event runners that will help and support you too. I'm very proud of this team that I am on because they have done nothing but stand against this. I am happy to say that I will not be supporting Evo anymore, and our players are not going to compete this year. Now is the time for change. We will become better. So yeah, that's what she says on this whole matter. So I think
Oh, pardon. I was just saying that I think one of the most important things in that whole statement was the fact that a lot of people are saying, hey, why didn't you say something when it happened? And she brings up the point where something happened to her, and she did bring it up, and she was ridiculed for it, and nobody took her seriously. And so when people say, "Oh, why now?" No, they just want to. It's they're just doing it because they're opportunistic or whatever. It's like, no, it's that this is the one chance they'll get where people will actually take them seriously.
I think some people are taking opportunities, and then some people are getting the strength to actually come out and say these things. Because you can't just look at it just like, oh look, everybody's starting to get the trick now to come out with it. It's just, that's not real.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it like don't get me wrong. It is naive to assume that everybody who's coming out now is 100% correct.
But it
is a case-by-case basis.
More people will get the strength and they see one person do it than if they have. A lot of people be like somebody else will do it. It's a lot easier when somebody else has already done it. To be like, yeah, I can do it too. So I get it.
Speaking of that, I want to bring this up. I'm sure I'm probably going to get some hate for this, but I'm not all for that believe all women when they come out bullshit.
I agree. I agree with you on that too, because someone made. I was still waiting for the link, because one of my supervisors from one of my jobs, he was talking to me about this, and he said someone made a post, and it was a woman who made the post, saying that we shouldn't be doing this believe all women thing. There's always two sides to every story, and like, yes, there are some creeps out there, and there's like some harassers and all that other stuff. But for people like, I would say Mike Z's situation, I don't think, like she says, she doesn't believe that he should be banned from like tournaments or whatever because he doesn't know how to talk to women. That should not be that should not be a reason for someone to be banned. Because,
well, you know what it is? It's decision making, right? So like, look at a guy like Mike Z. He makes that "I can't breathe" joke on stream. Right. Then weeks later, he's fucking thirsty in Bunny's DMs. Like, yeah, he wasn't doing anything horrible. He was just he talks to women like he's role playing on a live journal in fucking 2004. But he shouldn't fucking. It's bad decision making. Right? Like, he's just all he's doing is exhibiting the fact that he shouldn't be a community leader. Like, he shouldn't be respected and looked up to because he can't make good decisions.
That's true. Even though what he's doing is not the worst thing I've ever said or ever heard, he's not making it. And he's like, I can't breathe joke. And it's like, when people say stuff and they have an apology within the next 3 to 4 days, that's how I know that they were not ready to handle the consequences, or they didn't really mean what they said. Because if you have an apology that ready, you knew you shouldn't have said it. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, I think you should be canceled. Like, I'm not saying like you should go away forever. What I'm saying is like, respect is earned and respect is lost. And when you act like a fucking shithead, even if you're not abusing anybody, you lose respect. And then you got to work hard to earn that shit back. And it's doable, but you got to eat some humility.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about believe all women, I don't agree. I don't agree that you should believe all women. I don't agree you should just believe anybody on accusation. However, I will say that people who are trying to like believe all women or don't believe all women, it's an extreme. Because if you don't want to say, if you say I don't want to believe all women, like, don't do that at all. It's like you're trying to minimize anybody's accusations, right? You're like, all women are going to do this and do that. However, if you agree to it, you're like, you should believe all women, then it sounds like you're saying all men are rapists and bad, and you should only agree to women, and they're the right ones, and they're always the victim. So I feel like
not necessarily though, because here's my issue with this is that for so long the pendulum was swung on the other side. The fact that, I think now I'm giving women the benefit of the doubt. That's where my stance is. So if a woman does come out with any allegations, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt now, based on the history.
But look at it like this, though.
Yeah.
But look, the pendulum was in one extreme, right? We don't believe in him at all. And now the pendulum's swinging towards that we believe women all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So now the pendulum, it's still an extreme. It just went from one side to the other. It's not good. But now, instead of denying women any voice, now you're giving women all the voice. Now we just need a balance to where, okay, we give everybody a voice. Women, in this situation, women, but in general, all.
I go back to what I said since, like, the whole Bunny and Mike Z thing happened. My personal opinion, and, like, I know I'm going to get heat for it, but my personal opinion, Bunny outed him way too fucking quickly. Because she didn't give him a chance to apologize. He apologized the day after, when she said publicly that she felt uncomfortable. She should have just kept that in the DM.
See,
I'm not victim
I'm sorry.
blaming.
Go ahead.
I'm not victim blaming here. I'm not victim shaming or whatever. This is just basic common sense.
Sounds kind of like you are.
No, but this is just basic common sense. Because if you read the conversation like I have, I've read it like 5 to 6 times already, right? What he said to her, saying like the whole penis thing, like saying like, oh, you probably get questions from humans with penises and all that other stuff. That's on Mike Z. He shouldn't have said that, and I agree that he shouldn't have said that. But what I'm trying to say is that she should have just told him right there and then that, hey, what you said to me was kind of creepy. Can you not talk like that? That's all she should have said. She put him on blast. She put him on blast fucking immediately. And then everybody everybody attacked Mike Z, and he came out with an apology. He apologized, and it was like a sincere apology. And now like he's banned from Combo Breaker, and he lost his community rights with his own video game. And Bunny deleted the original tweet. Why did she delete it? There's no reason for her to delete it.
She deleted it because
she did what she had to do.
Mike Z went to her and inboxed her and said, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that." And he apologized to her. And then she was like, "Yeah, I kind of went overboard too, blah, blah, blah." So she deleted it. So you see how that shit got blown out of proportion?
Yeah, I see why it blown out of proportion. It definitely did get blown out of proportion.
Blown out of proportion, all right? Mike Z was already getting hate for he was
That's
already
what I'm saying. Mike Z's trend was already going down. So George Floyd comment plus this equals instant cancel in our culture, which I don't agree with the cancel, but I don't respect Mike Z anymore, so you're not going to see me defend his unbanning. I'm not, because I don't care. You act weird. You have a lot of allegations against you where you act weird to many people over and over again. So do I agree? Do I say that what you did was as bad as Mr. Wizard? No, not at all. But you're also not on the good side either. So should she have...
Combo Breaker is a fucking tournament with a zero tolerance policy. And like, I appreciate that because Rick just wants to make sure the community everyone's comfortable who's there, right?
Yeah, he's doing it. They're banning him for the image, not personal. Like, imagine if you had a BET Awards and you let R. Kelly walk through. Now, how does that look? It looks pretty bad. So you're not gonna let him come through.
But they did though.
Yeah, they did before the documentary when he did the medley in 2011.
The thing is, I know you guys didn't see the video. I saw the video.
Bless you.
I saw that video and I was like, "That's R. Kelly." I was like, "Yo, I'm mad young. I'm looking at this shit and I'm like, that's fucking R. Kelly. Like, that's nobody else. That is R. Kelly." You know how many black people stuck up for this motherfucker?
Did you watch Boondocks, sir?
Yeah, I remember that.
All right, that's all I gotta say. That's really all it comes down to. His clout. And
it was the worst. It was like the worst thing ever. Even when the documentary was coming out, chicks were on posts, making posts talking about, "Oh, these bitches just want money and blah 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 blah."
I'm gonna be honest, bro. A lot of people got R. Kelly's in their family. That's really what it comes down to.
That's where it starts from.
You know what kills me about that argument, though? People say, like, "Oh, man, these women are just doing this for money." It's like, have you ever seen any, like, real dollar settlement? Like, how many rich women do you know who got rich by saying, "This guy fucking assaulted me"? Like, nobody.
Anyone who's dating a basketball player. That's...
No. I'm gonna be honest. The threat and the assumption that you are doing it to get rich sometimes hurts more than the actual result, right? So people are like, "Oh, women are always doing this to get rich, yada yada yada." So after a while, you're gonna stop listening to their accusations, to where the entire notion of a woman being a victim is just null and void. No one cares.
Okay, but I have a question though. Going back to Bunny and Mike Z. So like, I don't know if some of you guys saw some of the shit that I was posting on the Discord. What Bunny was saying about like we should lewd Shotas.
That Shota shit, I was like, yeah, you weird too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
that's
the part where he also got called out for being a pedo as well.
Yeah, she's been because what I was going to say in the tweet where she called out Mike Z, and I'm so stupid I did not screen cap it. One guy was like blasting Bunny for being a
the fucking her reply for that is still there, by the way. The one where she goes, "Oh, so you guys can go fucking sexualize girls, but I can't sexualize a 15-year-old boy." I was like, what fucking point is that?
That's right.
That.
I actually had that screenshot, I think.
Yeah, I gave you the screenshot, and I also posted it on Discord, and I'm also going to put it in the edit of the video because like that's the shit that blows my mind. I see a lot of people defending her for her saying that, and I'm pretty sure
double standard.
There's
like
doubles. I will say
there's
these
guys. But the thing is,
go hand in hand. They should never go hand in hand.
The thing is, though, what they're saying is that, like, oh, they're fictional characters. What does it matter? Yet, these are the same people. Wait.
Oh.
These are the same people who say...
You heard right.
These are the same people who will go after a dude who's into lollies and call him a pedophile and all this other shit. These are the same people who will say, like, oh, why does her body look like that? Animated women need rights too. These are the same fucking people. So why does Bunny get a pass why does Bunny and her girlfriend get a fucking pass for liking 2D 15-year-old boys or 6-year-old boys or whatever? Because it sounds like this is a sexual fantasy that they want to play out.
Okay, so before we go into the whole thing, I want to just give a small note of what a Shotokan really is. A Shotokan is basically this.
Ryuken, Akuba.
Funny as hell. Funny as hell. I'm dead.
Someone finally said it, but hold on.
Damn, I named them too. This is not going to be good for me.
But anyway, so basically what a Shotokan is basically... It's just like a lolicon, except they like little boys instead. Now, I've had a
like little boys? Hell no.
So basically, I had a coworker a few years back who his name was Tim. He lived in Toledo. He was in IT, like I am. He graduated before I did because I was just entering college at the time, and I was working at my feet. But moving back on from that, he sat there. And I told him my phone's dead and I don't have a way back home. He said, "Oh, I'll give you a ride." He was really nice about everything. And I was like, "Hey, is it possible to have your phone deposit, please?" I opened the phone, and next thing I know, it is a legitimate wallpaper. It is nothing but little boys. Like, this man is not even. He is 6'6", like 160. This man sat there, had a full phone wallpapers, all of them, of just little boys.
What the fuck?
Now Shotokan can go from 8 to 14. Where Bunny AU and her girlfriend is at, they're more the 10 to 12-year-olds, which is unfortunate. So, yes, that's the main reason why I was like, so why is she getting salty over the fact that a person was just asking questions and, not trying to be annoying?
I'm gonna be honest with you. 1, that's a double standard. 2, she's weird as hell. And 3, if Mike Z would have responded a lot less weird, she would have had no ammo. Not saying he should have went all balls to the wall and been all, he made me uncomfortable, which he probably did. But her response was more fueled by the current climate. And she knew that she could get a...
she gets a nod of it.
Yeah.
Let me say this right. Hey, let me say this real quick. What I was gonna say earlier. Let me stop drawing real quick. Let me just. All right, you young dudes need to stay away from these chicks on the FGC. All right, don't try to holler at them. Don't try to. If you're gonna be around them, just be normal. All right, no touchy feely, no touching, no nothing, because you motherfuckers have a target on your motherfucking back. If any one of you motherfuckers become famous, there it is. There's gonna be somebody coming out saying, "Oh, this person did this. This person did that." Every chick that I would see at a tournament, I would just treat them as a regular person. Hey, what's up? This and that.
That's what you should do normally, by the way.
The first chick I've ever met is an OG chick named, her name is Q. And she was from New York. And I played in the CBS 2 tournament. And Q was fucking raw as fuck. She's on my page too. Like, you know, I'll hit her up and we'll be talking shit, you know, back and forth, you know, on our pages or whatever. She'll tag me in like some stupid shit like, "Come get your uncle," and there'll be some guy drunk falling over the floor, you know, shit like that. Dog, these chicks now, they're just waiting. You say, like, if you inbox a chick and say anything remotely creepy or, you know, making them feel some type of way, you're gonna get put on blast.
True.
But it's not gonna just happen. It's not gonna happen right then and there. It's gonna happen when you least expect it. Especially if you somehow win Evo or win a big tournament. That's when the bullshit happens. It always happens like that.
But can I
These
be honest?
guys like
quick?
Mike. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because I now realized you weren't finished, so I'll just say this really quick. You're right. You shouldn't be acting weird and sexualizing women in the FGC because they're women. But the reason a lot of people do that in the FGC is because they're not the most attractive person, physically or personality wise. So they're slim pickings, right? So they're trying to do the best they can, which is not that good at all, to try to get a girl. And they only have they only know how to be a creep, to be honest. So not saying that you shouldn't, don't be afraid to talk to a woman, but also just know that you should just treat them like normal human beings as you should anybody. What you say could apply to anybody. You know what I mean?
In the same way, when you go to fucking Starbucks, you shouldn't be trying to pick up your barista. Like, she's on the job, she's on the clock. Like, she doesn't want to be fucking hit on. Like, there's venues for picking up women, and it's not necessarily like.
It really depends on the situation in question. There, I'm not going to agree with that one. It really depends on the time.
Like, if someone's like, say you're in a position where someone has to be nice to you because you're fucking if there's a situation where someone has to smile at you because to do otherwise is awkward. That doesn't mean she's hitting on you, right?
Well,
and you got to learn to read those cues.
Well, right. Now listen, but you could also read those cues and see if she would even be interested in, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you talk, like if you approach any social situation and you know how to talk and you can see those cues, you can figure out real quickly, hey, if I do this or do that, you know, if I throw this poke out here, does she react to it? If she doesn't,
I can tell you this much.
You're right, but two things. Most guys don't know how to take a hint, and two, most guys don't know how to assess the situation.
Because the people in this community don't have that skill. So that, like I said earlier, they only know how to be creeps because that's all they know, because they don't know anything different. So,
as a former barista, I will say this: if your barista gives you free drinks, then yeah, they probably like you. That was the thing we do back in the day. So
that's true.
Thank you for the advice. Emotion now.
I'm not done. So check this out. I don't know if you guys know, I'm also a bouncer too. So I'm the manager of the whole bouncing team. So before I became about like the manager or whatever, I started working. I just started working at this place, and for a while, like, no chicks would talk to me or whatever. Maybe because I was just like I just have that mean face or whatever. But once these chicks started to see me more, let me tell you, these chicks. They say that they say that guys are worse than chicks. Chicks are worse than guys, in bars in the nightlife. I tell you right now, I had chicks trying to take me home. I had chicks fucking grabbing my ass. I had chicks grabbing my abs, reaching for my dick, all types of stupid shit. And the only thing I can do is, yo, hey, you can get the hell out. I'll throw you out right now. You don't be touching me. This is even before I even got my girl. I would always, I don't like nobody touching me. If I don't know you, I don't want no girls or nobody coming up to me, touching me. I don't know you, you don't get to touch me. Because you're violating my space. So if a chick walks up to you and grabs your dick, you have every right to be like, yo, don't touch me. There's nothing wrong with it. Most guys think it's like, oh shit, that's the dinner bell for me to just jump on this chick and do whatever. You're setting yourself up for failure.
And then the next day, this guy raped me. No, I
shouldn't have put yourself in that fucked up situation.
No, I get what you're saying, Kane, because a guy I work with, Rowdy, he's a bouncer, right? And he says it's the same thing too. Like girls will be dancing up on him and try to touch him and all that other stuff. He has gone home with a couple, but he's like that's how most. Up. He says that's how some of the girls at the clubs are. You're like absolutely right, because like they'll be drinking or whatever, and then like they just want to be putting hands on dudes because they know they could get away with it. You know what I mean? Once you know,
I used to throw chicks out all the time. You touch me, nah, you getting thrown out. Why are you throwing me out? You're touching me. That's why.
Get that ass back.
No, I'm sorry. No.
Get that ass back.
Straight up. Yo, I will never forget this. Right? I'll never forget this one. This chick was like, there was these two chicks that came in. One was a librarian, and she had her other friend. They were dancing the whole night like crazy. Everybody was watching them. One of the guys up at the door, this motherfucker just cannot stop fucking chicks. All right, married and everything, man. I'm like, oh man, this dude, he's gonna go for these chicks. So at the end of the night, this chick, she goes to him, she talks to him, she's like, yeah, this is and that, blah blah blah, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go fuck her.
Uh-oh.
He says that, all right. This motherfucking chick, she must have finally saw me in the light. This chick went over to me. She was, hey, what's your name? And I was like, my name is Kane. And she was like, oh, well, what are you doing after work? I was like, I'm going home. She was like, no, you should come and hang out with us and everything. I said, oh, no. I gotta go home. I gotta wake up in the morning. You ain't getting me.
It's like that video with that black kid with like all the hot girls. It's like, oh, you guys got Nintendo?
This shit was crazy. So check it out. So the next day, this dude comes in and he's like, oh man, yo, I went over there, I fucked both of them. And I said, you fucked both of them, huh? I said, now they know where you work. This chick's gonna always call you and want you to come over. Lo and behold, after I said that chick texted him. He was like, yo, this fucking chick wants me to come over there and sleep over there and everything. I can't do that. I gotta go home with my wife. I said, you shouldn't have went out there and fucked her. Dummy.
Boy.
You're done.
He felt
boy.
Fell for the mix-up. And
the worst thing is...
That wasn't a mix-up. That was a frame trap, my guy.
No, it wasn't. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. No. He frame trapped him. No, he frame trapped himself. Because to be honest with you, I bet you he didn't tell her, hey, I got a wife. He didn't say that, did he?
Dog, never.
No, he was going for the opposite select, man.
That's what I thought. He went for the opposite select, and it got patched out.
Yo, I tell you right now. We work at this. Yo, we work at this club this bar over near Boston College, and all the chicks show up there, and I'm talking about under 8. Yo, we were taking so many fake IDs I was losing count. Like literally, I think one night they took like 148 fucking fake IDs. Right.
Like, how can you tell if it's a fake ID or not? Just curious.
Oh man, I have to teach
Nowadays you can swipe them.
That is a whole other podcast right there, man.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing, yo. It's so many things that you wouldn't have thought was even like on the ID. But anyways, there was this one chick. She was so fucking plastic. All right, she's plastic. She's coming out. She's fucking like, she's just all over the place. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck is? I was like, we gotta get this girl out of here. I'm like, yo, we go up to her and everything because we go up, as a group. So nobody can say that this one person did all this other, all this stupid shit or whatever. So we get this girl, get her to come out of here. Man, this girl's hand stabs going everywhere, grabbing dicks and everything, man. Straight up, handful, all man grabbing. I'm like, what the? I'm like, oh man, you gotta get the fuck out of here. And here's my last story, but this one's kind of fucked up though. This was really fucked up. Oh, no. So one of the guys had called and say, hey, I'm sick. I'm here working. I'm sick. I need somebody to come in. So I had to leave from Boston to go all the way back to fucking Salem. I was fucking hot because I was about to get ready to go to sleep, and now I got to get dressed and go out and help this guy. So I get there and everything. There's like mad people in there. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be fucking. So I'm there working, and I seen this dude. And he's like, oh, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a while. And I'm like, hey, what's up? What's going on? So this chick is at the door, and she's trying to get in. She's falling all over the place. I'm like, I'm not letting this chick in. She's like, yo, let me in, this, and that. I was like, nah, I'm not letting you in. So the dude I was just talking to, he comes out. He goes, oh, yeah, that's my friend, and this, and that, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to take her home. So he leaves with her. The night's over and everything. Tell me why the next day I wake up, I get a full super paragraph of a text from the owner that I work for. And he's like, yo, this chick is saying that the guy that went with her was with her last night, that he raped her. Ooh. And I was like, what? Okay. What the fuck? So I'm like, oh man. So all this shit's going on. I'm like, yo, this guy raped this I was like, no way. So I get in, they're talking or whatever. They went back and they looked at the surveillance camera, right? Because supposedly she came in and was with him inside. Then they left together, which wasn't the truth because she lied and said that she was in O'Neill's dancing, doing whatever with him, and then they left together. They checked the surveillance. They saw that I stopped her and that didn't let her in and whatever. Come to find out, this chick ends up coming again during the day when I wasn't there and said, yeah, he raped me, this, and that. Dog, the news people were trying to come up. It was all in the news and everything. Come to find out, the chick lied.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That is
so,
messed up.
Again, you gotta watch out when you're going out to the clubs. The worst thing is getting drunk and being with a drunk chick. I don't like to drink. I drink once in a while. If I'm with a chick, she gets drunk, I want no parts with her. None. Because I don't want nobody saying I did anything. It's a bad hit. The problem is with a lot of these guys, they don't think before they do shit.
Well, that's what. Well, that's why it's so much easier for some of these like girls to prey like on these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like with Cindy Pie and that 14-year-old that she was with. Like I actually read through that whole thread, and like she pretty much like promised him a relationship at the age of 18, to later find out that she got a boyfriend. Which was kind of fucked up, and like, you know, I kind of feel for that kid, and like I remember talking to like some people from work about this, and they're saying oh, he should be happy, like you had like a 24-year-old girl like hug up on you and stuff like that at 14. I wish I had that when I was 14. And then
no, you don't.
But but here's the thing. No, but here's the thing though. I'm like, but you're saying this now, like you like at your age now, you're saying this. Let's put you in a 14-year-old mindset. Like we've all been 14.
Nah, don't say me, because I was trying to fuck bitches at 12.
Me too.
Really at 6, I'm gonna be honest.
Me too.
At
14, I was really trying to hump all day.
Listen, bro, don't put me in that.
I was. I still say it to this day. I said, look how dumb these kids are. They're telling all their friends and they're telling everybody that they're having sex with their teachers. I said, all the teachers I had were fucking ugly monsters. Ugly monsters. All right?
Okay.
You guys are getting these 21-year-old chicks who are hot, who want to give you a blowjob.
But what I'm trying to say is that like you gotta look at this kid, for example. Like he plays Smash Brothers, okay? I'm pretty sure he was saying like, oh yeah, I totally want to hump chicks and have sex with them and all that other stuff, and then he was put on the spot with a chick that's older than him, and he said in the freaking in the Twitter longer, he was scared, he didn't know what to do. Not
everybody. Don't.
Yeah, like not
trying to do that for Don't do that for any children. Period. Because you are ruining their innocence. You're giving them feelings, thoughts, and emotions that they can't handle, they can't act on, and can't express. So the younger that you introduce a child to a sexual experience, the worse it gets, because they can't do anything with it. Now they lost that innocence, so now they're at 7-year-old looking at Wonder Woman like, damn, I'm trying to fuck the shit out of Wonder Woman. Like, bro, it's Justice League, bro. that was me. I'm looking at Wonder Woman like, y'all don't see her curves, and then I'm thinking like, wait a minute, I'm in 2nd grade. Maybe I should.
That's true.
But
see what I'm saying?
That's exactly it. And then like in the twit longer, like he was saying, they had like a secret relationship. Like they'll go to events together. They will cuddle and all this other stuff, and like real shit. Like anyone who's like 14 and you have like a girl hugging you up and stuff like that
shit feels great.
You feel amazing. You feel amazing.
Like the boy.
Exactly. Like you feel amazing. But once she starts like kissing him and like touching his junk and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure that kid was fucking scared, man. Like
I said, he is a different kid. He out of it like.
But this goes down to, what do you know when you're at that age, and how much of what you know at that age are you really like ready to experience?
You shouldn't even be doing it. Period. That's why I keep saying, I'm not gonna put me on children. Period. Yeah, I shouldn't have.
It's not the situation in which you should be like comfortable with it, right? She's a whole decade older than you. You don't know what she does, right? She's telling you, hey, well, you can do this, this, and this. It's not the same comfort.
She is literally R. Kellying this kid.
Right, and it's not the same comfort that you hear from if it was someone your age. Now, not that no one else in this house needs to hear this, but when I started having sex, it was at a very young age, but also because it was around people that were my age, it made it easier, where than if someone who came up like a whole decade older than me, fucking toppling over me by another 2 feet, was like, yeah, you want to go fuck? No, I don't want to fuck.
Bro, they're going to hit you with the hello.
I don't mean to like keep going back and forth with the subjects here, but like going back to like the bunny thing, I have where she originally tweeted about like Mike Z, like, you know, being a creep and stuff like that, and disrespectful in the DMs. And like the thing is too, which I totally forgot, she even sent it. She said, "I've shared screenshots of the conversation to others in the FGC and Combo Queens." So she like did not.
Why Combo V?
No, Combo
Queens.
Combo Queens.
Oh, what is that again? Who was that?
Combo Queens is a female only fighting game team that's there to help support women and basically do everything that girls.
Her actions were the right actions, just for the wrong situation. That's I'm like, damn, you doing. If more women who got, let me rephrase it. If women who were victimized took the same deliberate actions that quickly, damn, that'd be great. But that doesn't always happen like that.
Yeah, like my
by the way, I
issue
had
with
that question. I
is
had
that
the button screenshot ready to read aloud that I was talking about earlier. Actually,
go ahead.
It's fucking 2019 at that. I've never done lewds of any underage character, and I personally don't see anything wrong with it or your cosplay. You are looting a 16-year-old character, so I don't understand why it's not okay for me to want to see lewds of a 16-year-old anime boy, right? So that's the first half of it. And then she follows up with it with the following thing. I think it's okay to want to see lewds of any Silver Scout, Death the Kid, or not real character. Fucking why? It's not okay. I don't give a fuck what your justification is.
I apologize, but can you please read that a little bit slower, please? I did not catch it.
I feel like that she kind of just said, if you guys can like 16-year-olds, why can't I like 15-year-olds?
That's exactly what she said.
That's bad on both sides. I gotta be honest with you here. She shouldn't be able to like 15-year-olds, but we also shouldn't be able to like 16-year-olds. Then I can see does it excuse her? No, but I see where she's coming from.
Now, the thing about all of this is that, you know, her preferences aside, my biggest thing with this whole Mike Z thing is that she kind of just went in, going in hot, and just saying this stuff about Mike, and her first reaction was to just call him out on it in public. And then once he apologized, she was like, all right, he apologized to me in private, so that's all I wanted. And she's like, you know, maybe I went about this the wrong way. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe trying to literally destroy someone's career is not the first step. Like, what she wanted was an apology. What she wanted was for him to own up to it. And she was happy doing that in private. Why wasn't that the first step? That's the thing that I don't get.
No way is Mike Z's career destroyed. Like, in my industry, there are, like, people get outed left, right, and center, and fucking nobody loses their position of power, especially if you run your own studio. I think he just deserves to face a little bit of consequences for making some bad decisions. Like, he can spend some time in the doghouse and maybe not be so creepy in the future, and maybe that's for his benefit.
Right, but like, to imagine he wasn't the head of his own company. What if he was some random ass programmer who now, if he gets fired from his job, now he's trying to look in the video game sphere to find another position of employment, and people say, "Oh, you're the guy who was being super creepy."
There are people at Ubisoft Toronto right now who are being accused of actually raping multiple women in hotel rooms, and only one of them has been put on administrative leave with pay. None of them are getting fired.
So, like, okay, so
may I ask a quick general, semi-sensitive? Fuck, it's gonna be a sensitive question. Were they white?
No, one of the dudes is from Africa.
Damn it!
Specifically, but the rest are white. And the other two are French Canadian. He's French Guyanese.
Well,
I did want to say though, for Bunny's outing, I think this is this is not an excuse of like this is okay why, but I'm saying that nowadays, like say Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, it's not like you call your best friend and you say, hey, look, this thing happened. Now you call your 1,000 or 10,000 friends and you say, this happened, you know, and it's bad, right? But I don't think they're really thinking about it. Like, Twitter is basically every thought I have, put it in a box, you know. you're really thinking out loud. And
your followers or your stands are going to act on behalf of you, regardless of whether you want them to or not.
Yeah.
Right. So with that being said, people with that kind of a platform need to be a little bit cognizant of what they're saying and the repercussions of what they say, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
This is a weird case. This is a weird case between two weird people who had weird responses to things.
I'll continue reading this because
it's okay.
There's someone who replied to Bunny after she made that allegation. So this person named Rizzy, she said, "Girl, you literally approached him expressing your enjoyment and appreciation for BDSM-ish themes. He goes on to do a little horny talk, which you happily respond to." And the rest of it got cut out, but that's what she pretty much said. She kind of called her out on what she was doing for him.
Yeah, the only thing sus that I found about that whole conversation is that she started off with, "I'm really glad you put kinky content in your game," and so opened with the tennis serve of sexuality.
She started the conversation highly weird, highly weird, and then his response was mega weird. And then she kept going.
It's who has the big? It's pretty much between the two. It's who has the biggest weird dick?
Hey! I mean, you think about it this way. The views and opinion of him are his alone. I don't like the way he said that.
So I'm sorry to cut everybody off, but when I read the Twit Longer with Bunny, I felt like she was again jumping the gun because it was too much, and then out of nowhere when I read her DMs I was like, oh god, this isn't just jumping the gun. She literally sat there. It went from, okay, I'm going to talk about my own kink to kink shaming this person now because this person's bad. I'm like, what? Why did you turn 360 so fast?
Like I said, Bunny, she's just a weird girl who's taking advantage, or at least is in the she's taking advantage of the culture where you can cancel and allege or expose somebody easily. So she's seeing examples of other people doing it. So she felt uncomfortable. So she saw her first response was to press that button, and then she
pressed that button.
Yeah, I'm
now, the thing that I thought was kind of weird about this whole exchange
between the Nairo shit is what's really scary.
Okay.
We'll save that for next week.
Are you sure? Because I got the stuff for that one.
We can be here for another 2 hours talking.
You're right.
We'll save that for next week, my guy.
Okay.
You sound disappointed. Oh man!
I just want to make a quick disclaimer. If you're in the fucking Smash community and you know any of these fucking pedophiles, you played by them, you sat around, hung by them, fucking didn't think anything to fucking shits about the senpai situation. Any of that stuff, especially considering that I've seen some of those fucking conversations, and it's people for Captain Zach having conversations in between shit happening, and you just discussing it, and you're not taking any concerns to it. You're just as fucking stupid, and you may not be there as a person who's enacting on the worst possible situation and how traumatic that would have been for that guy, right? But you're sitting there as a bystander. You're thinking, oh yeah, you're telling me about this shit. I shouldn't take concern. I can't call the police. I shouldn't say, yo, maybe you should go seek some help or anything. You fucking sat there for years on end, being a guy who was the fucking diary, and you did not a single damn thing. I'm sorry, but if I had to be someone's diary for their shit, no matter what it was, and I do nothing, I'm fucking just as guilty for letting that shit be prolonged for so long.
You heard it here first, folks.
100%.
Also, y'all all need fucking deodorant.
So remember, if you become a diary, we're gonna come back to this point.
He said you all need diary. He said you all need deodorant. No, they need some fucking water, hot water. Turn that hot water on.
But to be fair, but right now the Smash community is not so separate from the FGC anymore. Before it was, not anymore.
No.
And the way that the FGC is starting to look about as bad, it ain't. It ain't hot.
Speaking of the Smash,
you know what? Hold on. Before
I'll let you go, Kane. You go.
I want to say something because I got to get off because I gotta work in the morning.
I feel that.
want to bring up something that happened a couple days ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you already know who it is.
This is
So, this guy, Ronan, Theo Lee Ronan,
Oh yes, this.
or
Here we go
we
again.
all know him by Michael
Shit, I don't.
Parks. All right, this guy. The only reason I even ran into him is because he was on that Michael Crack Porn post trying to defend what Mr. Wizard said. And I mean, what Mr. Wizard did. My fault. All right. And I was like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, no way. This is not this guy. I was like, he should be still locked up. So I posted up the picture and I said, is this you, man? You know, I showed my boy and he was like, yo, that's him. So let me go back. So this guy, I probably a lot of you guys fucking saw it in the Fighting Game X thread.
Yeah, we were all there.
This guy completely like went apeshit in there. He said now he was gonna commit suicide. And I'm just like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Somebody reach out to this guy. Yeah, so I ain't think nothing of it, you know, after like people were saying they're reaching out to him and this and that. So this guy, he somehow got in a group that I admin, the Street Fighter Legends group. And he was in there and he was talking mad shit. Just talking shit on a post. I'm just like, what's going on with this? I should throw him out of here. So I was just like, hey, can you chill out with the bullshit, man? He starts talking shit to me. Well, you know what happens when you talk shit to me?
Get that ass banned.
I'm like, all right. I was like, all right. I was going to ban him, but I was like, you know what? I'm bored. I'm going to have a little fun. So we're talking shit, going back and forth, this, and that. So everybody else joins in, and we're all fucking talking shit, whatever. Dog, listen. Here's what things go to the fucking 360 to the fucking left. Yo, this motherfucker done Queen Sweet.
Oh, Devin Hamilton.
Yo, he put up the video of him playing this dude in Street Fighter V and calling him a sex offender. I'm like, sex offender? I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
The way he said it too was just so funny because he's just like, oh, he tried to use that sex offender block. Oh, okay, sex offender crouching light.
Sex offender kick.
Block, huh?
He was like, sex offender kick. Oh no, sex offender trying to do that comeback. He was like, oh no, bang, Queen Swift. And this is that, I'm rolling, I'm laughing. I'm like, this dude is hilarious. Listen. When I saw that shit, then I saw the fucking worst shit ever. I seen his fucking mugshot, him being a sex offender tier 2. I was like, this motherfucker,
wait,
you trying to talk?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know he was tier 2. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's tier 2.
What is
Wait,
that?
okay,
my
okay, my apology again. We're both me and Alex here. We're both like, what's a tier 2?
What's tier 2?
What two?
What's the tier list?
Listen, I'm gonna put it in the group. Hold on, so you guys can all read this shit because that shit was just it was mind blowing.
Somebody really got exposed out here.
Yeah, he got mad exposed. He got mad exposed.
Mind you, this motherfucker was talking about how many girls he get, this and that, blah blah blah.
He must have had Jolly Ranchers. He must have had a lot of Jolly Ranchers.
I'm like, dude, you talking about how many girls you get, nigga? You a sex offender? The fuck?
Oh, damn.
I went in on him. Yo, I was beating on him so bad to the point that this motherfucker he blocked me. So I'm just like, yeah, whatever, man. So he couldn't handle it. So let's fast forward to now. So after I said what I was saying, and then dudes were getting on there like, yo, what the fuck? Where'd you get this? Blah, blah, blah. I said, this motherfucker was running his mouth some years back, and he got exposed, and we got in his ass for it. So I'm sitting here, and I'm drawing or whatever. I'm drawing and shit. I'm just chilling. And I happen to go on Facebook, and I'm seeing that I'm getting these comments, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So it's on a post that I was talking about, about racism, and I was just talking about, well, white people are not the only ones that hate black people, and this and that. He was on my post talking mad shit. So I was like, oh, look at you. I was like, oh, yeah. He only found out who I was because I took the link on purpose and put it in there because I wanted him to see it was me.
So look who back.
Yeah, so he was just like, oh, this and that. This was 2 years ago. You're gonna come after me because I'm defending Mr. Wizard and blah blah blah. And I'm like,
defending Mr. Wizard.
Look, man, with friends like that, who needs enemies, right?
Oh my god!
Like for Mr. Wizard.
I think it's worth giving a little bit more detail on who this guy is, because unfortunately, this motherfucker was in the Philly FGC page as well, and so when the entire suicide situation, I saw it twice a day, because everyone was fucking double posting it on between the Philly FGC and the Fighting Gamers X community. So, on top of this guy regularly talking shit before that, and just occasionally putting down his depression like thoughts into the fucking group chats and shit. Or pages.
I got dropped. I'm sorry.
That's
but
okay.
like I was saying, you're defending Mr. Wizard because he got caught for something 20 years ago and he didn't go to jail. You got caught for something back in some years back, and your ass went to fucking jail. So, dog, we got on him. There was like 200 and something comments. All right. He just kept going on and kept talking shit. I just kept letting him hang himself. So this motherfucker was sitting here arguing and everything. So I took the link of my post and I put it on the On Blast page, inside the On Blast page. So people from the On Blast page were going on my shit, talking shit to him, calling them out, this and that, blah, blah, blah. So I think it was some dude that he knew that got on the post. He said, yo, you sitting here talking all this shit. You completely exposed yourself because Kane McGreedy is letting you hang yourself. So he realized, like, oh shit, I'm fucking up. I gotta go and delete all this shit. So he deleted everything. But little did he know, I screenshotted most of all the good shit. So before he got off my page, he went under this girl's page. Comment and says, Kane, he was like, Kane, I wish you get COVID so you can die so I can piss on your grave. And I was like, oh man, I was like, wow, you hate me that much? I screenshot that as well. He deleted that. Then he goes on his his Twitter page. So the next day, I'm just gonna put it in the group so y'all can see it.
I'll leave, bro. I don't know what y'all be doing, but I just stick to playing Street Fighter and Dragon Ball. Maybe some Tekken on the side. Y'all be doing some wild shit.
Yo, Alex, drama's everywhere. You don't run into it.
Oh no, I've had. Trust me, dog. You can go on my channel and see drama on my page. It's bad.
This is the guy you're talking to the guy who made someone put up his girlfriend to a first of 5. Okay.
Oh yeah, I did do that.
All right, boys, I gotta drop, but let's do this again next week because there's a lot to unpack about the Smash stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. But thanks for coming, Julian.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Thanks,
All right, talk to you guys later.
Actually, I'm about to get ready to head out too in a couple minutes because I got getting ready for work too.
Yeah, I gotta go to sleep. I just put all the I just put all the shit in. But he thought I was somebody else too. He was like, "This guy Aaron, I beat him so many times in Street Fighter." I was like,
Aaron.
I was like, I don't even play Street Fighter. What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
I'm sorry for you and your loss. I apologize for that. Hey,
I'm sorry too, honestly.
You don't play Street Fighter? That's I don't know what to tell you there.
Not playing Street Fighter isn't a loss. It's probably more of a game than anything.
I mean, not playing Street Fighter 5. All right, not playing Street Fighter before 5. Oof.
Nah, I didn't play. I played Street.
I played mostly Alpha 3.
You got 30th anniversary or Fightcade?
Fightcade.
You trying to get the hey? All right, we should start doing segments where we play each other on Fightcade or whatever and commentate.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I play Cody. Vism, you know what's up.
Shit, I don't know how to do Vism, so you know what's up. I do Cism. Yeah. And I don't know, there's supers.
That'll be Aism.
Shit, see? I thought C groove and Aism. It's all bad. This man Dave was like, I think you mean Aism.
Hey, I put the screenshots of this fucking moron.
I'm reading them right now.
Oh my
God.
What?
Right? Yeah.
Why are you posing yourself
I'm
topless, bro?
Yeah, he's a super weirdo. And this is the message right here that he had for me and Devin. Devin. When he was like, these motherfuckers, I hope they die, I hope they burn in hell. I was like, wow.
Yeah. I have the need to read one of these right now because this is actually very relevant to the preface of this story. So the screenshot says, I have not woke up depressed in the whole 2.5 years. But due to last night's action, this is the most depressed I've ever felt. Now, this premise alone, 2 years ago, he tried to kill himself. I distinctly remember this. Before that, he was still talking shit. As I said, when the day that happened, it got double posted for a concern of his life and the fighting game group, and then the Philly FGC, and probably a couple of other places as well. I'm gonna be honest. While though I feel like people shouldn't be taking their lives, I didn't care that day. I was like, oh damn, yo, bro, that's not the way. But at the same time, I was like, we also know you're a pedophile. You aren't really care anymore.
I don't think killing yourself is the answer, but you, I'm a little less inclined to help. Like I'm not gonna tell you to hang yourself, but if you were, I'm not going to stop you. It's kind of that's the vibe I'm getting. Okay.
Listen, this is my issue I had. All right. If he would have got on the post and was like, yeah, that shit's bad, this and that, I wouldn't have said anything. I would have just left it be. You got on the post and try to defend this dude's actions. It doesn't matter if it was 20 years, 30 years, or 100 motherfucking years. You are in the same motherfucking boat. God damn it, I got disconnected again.
Really?
No.
We can hear you.
No, here I am. Yeah. All right.
Oh, we can hear you. I heard you just fine.
Yeah. So, you're in the same boat as this motherfucker. The only two difference is you went to jail and his ass is on his way to jail. All right? You want the fucking, get the fuck out of here. Don't get on the post talking about that was a 20-year-old thing. Nobody should be digging up things and this and that. Get the fuck out of here.
The fact that he was actually defending it actually really made me more sick than I already am right now. And, it's just fucked up that, half these people right now who are being outed of being child pedophiles, some of the people, they're defending them. Which makes no sense to me. I know people are going to say, oh, well, you're defending Mike Z. It's like, no, I'm not really defending Mike Z. It's just the situation is kind of one weird person is talking to another weird person and people are just trying to outweird each other. And then she just put him on blast.
This man Dyza's like, yo, repost that. He's like, hey, yo.
That was the only good thing that came out of today. Come on.
Thank you. But But like, yeah, like that's the thing. Like, some people are trying to defend like these
because they got Mr. Joey's in their family, bro.
Yo.
That's the strat. They got X, Y, and Z in their family, bro. Or they want to do the action themselves, bro. Why he look like a locked character?
He said a locked character.
Oh, man, he got his whole name. I don't want to say he looked like a sex offender, but
listen,
bro,
I remember seeing this guy at NEC before all this shit started, and I was just like, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, that nigga looks like a pedophile.
Damn,
that's the first thing that came out of my mind. And I don't say shit like that about people. I'm sitting here and I looked at this dude. I said, damn, this motherfucker's a pedophile. When I see Noah Brown, the first thing that came to me is like, damn, that nigga got a big ass head. Yeah, that motherfucker got a xenomorph head.
Oh my god.
Dog, chill.
Yo, motherfucker's head looked like a fucking big apple. Nice and shiny, too.
You gotta be stopped, man.
Oh
I'm about to go take a bite out of crime right now. Like, dude, come on,
Why
man.
you going in on this, man?
I think,
like, come on, dude.
I think on that note, I'll end the podcast. This was a really, really good discussion. This shit's still not over yet because I'm pretty sure there's going to be more stuff that's going to be outed this week. The way how things went a few days ago, like just all the shit hit the fan and whatnot. But like, if you guys who are listening to this, if you guys made it to the end of this, just give us some feedback. Also, thank you for listening. I'm pretty sure we pissed some people off. So if we've done that, please leave it in the comments and we'll get back to you on that. Just to let you guys know, this is just our opinions about the whole like situation that's going on in the FGC. I understand it's very serious, it's very sensitive, but I do have to admit, like especially with Mike Z and Bunny, something doesn't sit right with me on that one. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, thank you for coming to the podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for staying. You guys, thank you for coming as well. You guys have anything coming up? You guys anything you want to plug or whatever?
I think I should give a general disclaimer that because this is the end of the podcast and you guys have all heard the bullshit that we went through today, I think it's worth noting that we're a bunch of guys laughing our ass off, but also taking serious concern to the situation because we care about the community. Unfortunately, the community is fucked up. Not that we didn't know that, but now a lot of shit has been exposed, more so than ever, that even we didn't know, and that we have no parts in. So our opinion is only but so much relevant. Unfortunately, though, that's not the problem here. The problem is that people are in positions of power or in some kind of relativity to it to take action, and no one's taking that action. Us talking about it ain't going to do shit. People who were close by when this shit was happening, you guys should all feel guilty or bad. If you guys have seen these people at fucking events and you're like wondering, oh, well, why are they hanging out with this person? Why are they hanging out with that person? And you're like, well, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Some of you guys are probably other pro players or other regular tournament goers who have constantly seen this behavior. And like the Senpai video, it was on camera. It's just so many accounts of it could be like everywhere. And someone was like, yeah, it's whatever. That's probably just like his big sister or whatever. No one's going to fucking like ask, oh, well, what are you guys? Brothers and sisters? No, we're right. And then someone's going to have to be like, you're what? Good friends. Well, now it just seems a little creepy, right? It would have taken nothing more but 2 seconds of confronting a person to go like ask what someone's motives are behind some things that are done in public, or like even in private DMs, like the Bunny situation, where you say, well, hey, what were your intentions with it? Even if they were to deny it, you can kind of infer or tell based off of what screenshots are and stuff that some people have good intentions, some people don't, right? Fucking the Captain Zach situation makes me really upset because he really spoke to someone who was probably a close friend for fucking years before he even said anything and made the tweet longer. And they didn't take the time to say, yo, bro, that's kind of fucking wrong. That's you should be concerned. I'm just saying, anyone who takes part in being silent for those situations, nah, you're all fucked up.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree 110%.
Hey, before we end this, before we end this, I want you to hear this. I'm gonna play this real quick.
Okay.
You might have to play that a little louder.
Disgusting and never mention my name again. You hear me? I don't like you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to money match you. I don't want none of that. I just want you to leave me alone and leave the children. You understand?
Listen. He murdered him. All right. I gotta get off.
I'll play. I actually have the video from Twitter, so I'll play that at the end of this clip. But yeah, shoutouts to Devin Hamilton. Also, shoutouts to Kitty Kaoom. I will post out her contact information in the description.
Yeah, shout outs to her for making that post.
Because that post was godlike. So yeah,
I have a YouTube channel. I be posting on there regularly. It's AlexLovehall. It has a lot of different content, gaming as of right now, but it will be lifestyle as well as fitness in the coming months. So stay tuned for that. Check it out. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. I got some videos in the works already, so there'll be a lot coming soon.
Anyone else want to have anything to plug before I end this beautiful
I
show?
don't.
No,
I got something to say. I got something to say.
Results because he be beating niggas' asses. There you go.
Wait, what?
I said you're plugging your tournament results because you be beating niggas' asses. That's what I said.
Oh.
I got something to say. It's better to burn out than to fade away.
That was good. I like that.
Okay, you crazy bastard. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. Thank you once again. Comment, rate, subscribe, all that fun stuff. The Old Man Crew, thank you for coming tonight. We'll definitely be doing this next week, and I'll try to stay up to date with what's going on right now in the FGC. So with that, good night, everybody.
Take it easy.
Have a good night.